Hello family, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angela and this channel is all about beauty, fashion, and life. Today's video is all about Today's video is all about oh my God. Today's video is all about self-care tips. Now, a couple of the tips are things that we already know, but we may need a little reminder, things that we're not doing that we really should be doing. The rest of the tips are bits of advice, words of wisdom that I've picked up from different people that I've listened to or I've read, just something that you may not know or that you probably do know, but you just need some emphasis and just somebody to remind you to do these things, just so you can make sure you're taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others. Now, if that's something you're interested in, then stay tuned. Now, let's get started. Tip number one is nurture your village. Now, I know we all have that one or two people that we talk to on a regular basis. For me, it's my daughter. I talk to her 6 minimum days a week. Most of the time it's every day, and sometimes it's twice a day. But I'm talking about the people who are on the outskirts of your village, who still have impact in your life, who make a difference, who uplift you when you're down, who are there when you need them, who you can call at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, come get me from such and such, and they'll just get in, okay, I'm on my way. That person you can call and say, I need $20. Hopefully that's not happening, but I need $20. Cash app me, or okay, I got you, I'm sending it to you, what have you, that group of people. For most of us, it's an auntie or a work friend that we haven't seen in a long time, or old classmate. You know, we need to nurture those people as well, because you know, when as women, sometimes when we're in a crisis, we gather our village. Our village comes to our rescue, you know, and we're taken from their cup. So we need to put back into their cup as well. So every now and then, you know, give them a phone call, send them a text message. For me, most of my village is 8 or 7 hours behind me. Right now it's about 2:30. For most of my village is about 6:30 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning. So we have very different time zones. So it's a little challenging for me, but I try my best to, like, at least one day a week on the weekend, I set that time aside from like 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And I start making phone calls to people I haven't talked to in a long time, or if I'm just driving on my way home from work and I think they're up, and hopefully they're up, the time is between them getting up in the morning and going to work, I'll try to call some of them. Most of the time I don't, because a lot of my friends have children, or they have husbands, and I don't want to wake anybody up. But make sure you set some time aside to nurture those people as well. You know, something as simple as a phone call or a text message can mean the world, because you know, if you're not talking to them on a regular basis, you don't know what they may be struggling with. And sometimes people like to keep their struggles quiet, but they'll be willing to talk if you're willing to call and say, hey, I was just thinking about you, what you doing, how you doing, just kind of what's going on, just thought about you, I just want to talk to you and hear your voice. You just never know. They'll let you know if you're part of their village, if they're having a struggle, if they need somebody to talk to. They'll just be, oh, I'm so glad you called, and just so nice to hear from you. And then sometimes those sort of conversations go on for an hour or two, and you just never knew what you were missing by not calling those people and keeping in touch with those people. So again, just make sure you're nurturing all of your village as much as you can. Tip number 2 is exercise. Listen, I know sometimes it's hard. You just don't feel like it. You done worked all day long. You got to come home and cook and clean, and you just got, but listen, this is about self-care. We got to do what's best for ourselves. So you need to exercise. If you haven't started exercise, though, if you don't have an exercise routine, just start with 5 minutes a day. Make a commitment to yourself to start with 5 minutes a day. You can always add 5 additional minutes. I mean, even if you just want to do 5 minutes a day for a week, it's okay. Start somewhere. We will start somewhere. Add 5 minutes the next week. You do your next thing you know, you're up to 15 minutes. Then you add an additional 5 minutes, you're up to 20 minutes, and make that span for as long as you need for it to be. Exercising helps to release endorphins, which makes you feel amazing, makes you feel so much better, makes you have more energy, just makes you feel more alive. It also makes you physically stronger. I can tell you as a nurse of 24 years, when we have patients who have accidents, who break bones, who get sick, the patients that are healthier from exercising on a routine basis recover a lot faster. They have less complications and they're able to leave the hospital a lot faster. So exercise is so important in your self-care routine. Exercising also helps to increase your heart capacity. It helps to build up your lungs. It decreases your bad cholesterol, which is going to help your heart as well. It increases your quality of life. You know, when you're on vacation, if you've been exercising, you're able to go out and walk further, move further. You're able to move and do things that you normally wouldn't be able to do because your joints are stiff, your bones are stiff, your muscles are stiff. You know, it just increases your quality of life. So it's very important that you learn to exercise as a part of your self-care routine. The next tip is be kind to yourself. Listen, we all have times we go look in the mirror and you see, I don't like my stomach, or I don't like this and I don't like that. You wouldn't do that to your best friend, so why are you doing it to yourself? Be kind to yourself. Change your mindset. When you go to look in the mirror, instead of looking for what you don't like, look for what I do like. Like, I know my stomach is not the flattest. I'm trying to get that by the summer though, but it's okay. So what I started doing when I go look in the mirror, I love my legs, I love my shoulders. I'm not really gonna look at my stomach. It's okay, it's there. I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on what's good, what's gonna make me feel better. I'm gonna be kind to myself. God, thank you for these nice shoulders. God, thank you for these nice legs. Be kind to me. The same thing that I would say to my best friend, girl, your legs look amazing. Girl, look at your arms. Okay, I hear you. The same thing that I would say to my girlfriend or my daughter, one of my really good friends, or just actually any woman that's walking down the street. I would say to her, I'm gonna say to myself, I decided I'm just gonna stop being negative about what I don't like in the mirror, because what I don't like, there's always someone that would be very, very happy to have that for themselves. So be kind to yourself. Stop comparing yourself, your situation to other people. Stop comparing your afro to someone else's afro. You know, I have friends that have amazing fros, but then there are people who say, I have amazing fros. So, you know, I stopped comparing my hair to someone else's hair. I stopped comparing my financial situation to someone else's financial situation. Stop comparing yourself to what someone else has, because you don't know what they went through to get what they have. So, you know, and that just brings brings down the morale in yourself. It makes you doubt yourself. So just be kind to yourself. Treat yourself like you would treat your best friend. The next tip is to be honest and authentic with yourself. It will teach you to be accountable for your actions. You know, if you find yourself in a difficult situation, ask yourself, how did my actions contribute to me being in this particular situation? Ask yourself, what was I meant to learn in this situation? Sometimes it's, I should have listened instead of talking so much. Or sometimes it's, I didn't set boundaries. I should have set some boundaries. Or I set boundaries and someone crossed those boundaries and I didn't immediately have a conversation with them saying, you know, this was my boundary, you crossed the boundary, let's talk about this situation so that it doesn't happen again. Sometimes it's, I didn't clearly communicate my expectations. You really can't hold someone accountable for expectations that you didn't set or that you didn't clearly communicate with them. And sometimes it's just, I failed to properly prepare myself. A situation may arise, an opportunity may arise, and you're passed over because you honestly did not prepare yourself for this opportunity, and you're feeling bad and you're kicking yourself. It's okay, and it's okay to kick yourself, not too bad though. It's okay to kick yourself, but just take that time to sit back and think, okay, what did I do? How could this situation could have worked better for my good? And what can I do to help make certain I'm not in this predicament in the future? The next tip is learn to be a giver. I know for some people it's just very, very natural. It's very natural for me, but others it's not, and that's okay. But you should learn to be a giver, because I think we're put on this earth to make a difference in someone's life. And a lot of times that means giving. And it doesn't necessarily mean giving of your money. You can give the most valuable thing that you have. You can give your time. You can give your time. And one of the other most important things that you can give, or some of the most impactful things that you can give, is a compliment. You just don't know how a compliment can make someone's day. I still remember when I was young, I was playing and I ran and I fell, and I literally skinned the entire side of my face down to the white meat. I still have scars here from that. But I remember going to school, and I had to be, I think it was third grade. I stayed out of school for maybe a week, and I came back. I went to school, and I still had some scars on my face, of course. And I remember my teachers telling me that you're still pretty. I was in the third grade. I will never forget that as long as I live, because I didn't have people telling me how pretty I was. Rarely did someone say that, but I remember her saying that. And how many years ago was that? It was over 40 years ago, and I will never ever forget it. So I am very, very generous with my compliments, and they're always authentic. I'm not gonna say something that I don't mean, because that takes the value out of the situation for me and for the other person I'm giving the compliment to. But I'm very generous with my compliments, and most of the time it's for women, because you don't want to send the wrong message with a man. But if I see a woman and I think her eyes are beautiful, I would tell, oh, your eyes are just beautiful. Or I've seen women that have beautiful legs. Oh my God, your legs are just beautiful. Oh my God, you look so amazing in that outfit. I love your scarf. You smell so good. Like, if I feel it, if it hits me, I'm gonna communicate that with the person. And that's not for me, and that's not for them to feel good. It's just, I'm just being honest, I'm being authentic, and I'm giving of a compliment. And I just never know how much that may impact that other person. They may be having a bad day. It just may make their world. I'm also very giving when it comes to my finances. What you will never see me do is videotape, or look what I did, look what I did. That takes the entire honor out of it. That is not the reason I give. When I give, it's between me. The only other person that may know is my husband, my Jesus, and the person that I gave it to. That is not for anyone else. No, I'm not doing it for grandeur. I'm not doing it for a spotlight on me. I'm giving because I want to make a difference in someone else's life. Oftentimes here where I live, the guys will take your groceries to the car for you. And sometimes they won't, but I always ask them to bring my groceries to the car, because I know they're bagging groceries. They don't make a lot of money at all. So that is my way of giving. It's my way of tithing, because I just think it's something I should do. I give them a really nice tip every time. But I don't go around boasting about that. I told one of my close girlfriends here that I do that, and then you know what? She started doing it as well. So the fact that I try to make a difference in someone else's life, and just told her about it only because she's a really, really close girlfriend of mine, then now she makes a difference in somebody else's life. And I told my husband about it. Now when he's out, if he's going to the grocery store, he asks him to take his groceries to the car so that he can bless them as well. So and what I've seen in my life is that I've never gone wanting. Never gone wanting. Even when I was a little child, I've never gone wanting. God has always provided for me. It's like I'm sure if you watch my videos, I have a lot of clothes. I don't sell my stuff. If it gets too small for me, or if it's too big, or it's just something I'm not liking, I don't sell it. I give it away, because when I was growing up, people gave my mother clothes for us. We didn't have a lot of money, and things were given. No one sold my mother, and that was very important for us, and it made a difference in our lives. We always had nice things. I will never sell stuff. I'm just a giver. That's just who I am. And because I'm a giver, I'm always receiving. I'm always receiving blessings. I never go without. I never go wanting. So if you can, think about it. If you can do it financially, you do it financially. But most importantly, if you can give of your time, if you can give of your education, if you can impart some knowledge into someone else's life, then you do that as well. There is something that everyone has, something that they can give. The next tip is an easy one. Do not get hung up on people not liking you. They just will not. No matter what you do, you can do it to your best ability. You can do it perfectly. There's always going to be someone that says it could have been done better. There's always going to be someone that just doesn't like you because you're breathing. They just don't. And that's none of your business. That is not, don't worry about people who don't like you. That is none of their business. They're not paying your bills. They're not taking care of you. They're not imparting goodness and energy, positive energy into your life. Don't worry about it. If someone says so-and-so had something to say, stop them immediately. You know, that is for them. And maybe you heard, I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear it because it just brings negative energy into your life. The only time you need to worry about someone not liking you is if they're in a position to cause you harm. Now that's a little different. If you find out that someone's, and you know for certain so-and-so doesn't like me, and they're in a position to cause you harm in any way, shape, or form, then if you can at all make certain that they're not in that position any longer, that's what you need to do. Other than that, don't worry about someone not liking you. They're not going. Somebody's always not going to like you. There's only been one perfect person to walk this earth. And Lord knows it wasn't me, it's not you. And it's okay. It is okay. Just don't worry about it. Don't waste an ounce of sleep on someone not liking you. The next tip is to eliminate, if you can, or decrease the amount of time that you're spending around negative people. I don't care who they are. They will drain their energy and joy from your soul. You have to eliminate those people. You don't have to go out and say, listen, I'm tired of you. You just, every time I see you, it's negative, 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 negative. I'm just done with that. You can just silently, just silently move away. Just silently, and they may or may not even notice it. And if they're not calling you, or you stop answering the phone or what have you, they'll find someone else to complain to, or luckily, hopefully, they'll learn to stop complaining. But you have to try to eliminate or decrease the amount of time that those people are in your life. And sometimes there will be people who are negative who you cannot eliminate from your life. But what you can do is try to decrease the amount of time that you're in their presence. You know, I had a conversation with my daughter. Someone was very, very close to her that she could not eliminate out of her life, and that every time she saw her would have something negative to say. And I said, listen, you don't deserve to be talked to, or you don't deserve to be feeling like this when you interact with anyone. If they don't have anything kind to say, they don't need to say anything to you at all. Listen, you had to have this conversation with her and say, listen, you know, if this is what you're gonna say when you see me, then you just need not to come over my house. That's just all it is to it, you know. I'm not gonna tell you who it was, but she couldn't eliminate the person from her life. But you just have to decrease the amount of time that you spend with those people. I have at least one person like that in my life. You know, I cannot eliminate that person from my life, but I decrease the interactions that I have with her, and I just have to put my joy and my happiness first. As much as I love her, she's always negative, and she probably will always be negative, but I can't allow that energy to constantly come into my life. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to my husband and the people that I'm gonna be interacting with daily, because eventually it will just it's draining. It drains your energy. So just try to find some way to decrease the amount of time that you're spending around negative people. Next tip is learn to say no. You know, as women, particularly if you're over 40, you may have children or grandchildren and parents, and sometimes grandparents, everyone, and work, and then your spouses. Everybody is just kind of pulling you in all directions. You know, it's okay to say no. And I know sometimes it's difficult to come out and say no. If you're in a pinch, you can say, give me a day, or let me think about it and I'll talk with you tomorrow. That gives you time to sit back and think about if it's something you can actually do, or something you really, really want to do. You feel obligated to do it. You know, culturally, sometimes we feel obligated to do things for people in our family or our friends, and it's just the way it is. But you know, if it's draining from your time and your energy, you need to make sure you're taking care of self first. So, you know, sometimes you just have to say, no, I'm not able to do that right now. I wish I could, but I just cannot. Or I can't do it now, but hopefully I'll be able to do it later. I hope you understand. And sometimes they're not going to understand, and that's okay too. But just have to learn to say, no, unfortunately, I'm not in a position where I can do that right now. Now, lastly, carve out some me time. I know you'll see videos about self-care and they talk about manicures and pedicures and facials and what have you. Listen, you know what brings you joy, what makes you relax when you're just in your safe, happy place. Some people like to meditate, not me. Not me. If you make me sit down and sit still, I'm gonna feel like I'm being punished. I cannot do it. I can't do it. I'll sit there rock like this. I cannot. I don't want to sit in the jacuzzi.
Yoga.
Ooh, yoga. So they just move too slow. They move entirely too slow. I love the stretches they do in yoga, but they start, and I'm like, can't you just move your arm faster? Come on now. I've been wanting to dance. That is not relaxing for me whatsoever. I do sit still well if I have other things to do. Look, what's relaxing for me, oh my God, is to sit on the couch with a giant bucket of popcorn and binge watch TV shows, 5 or 6 shows back to back. I'm gonna get up, go use the bathroom, come back, eat my popcorn. Or if not, I don't have popcorn, I'll be crocheting and watching television at the same time. A whole half a day of that, oh my God, I feel amazing. I just feel amazing. I love watching television. That is rejuvenating for me, and sometimes if I'm having a bad week, I'll call my husband at work, listen, I need a me day. I need a me day. He knows that means I'm coming in the house, I'm gonna give him some sugar, I'm coming upstairs, he'll see me when it's time to go to bed. I may go upstairs, I may take a hot shower and sit on the bed with my computer or my iPad, and I just may watch movies. That means I just need a moment to myself, just a woosah. And we've talked about that. So when you want some time for yourself, the best thing to do is schedule it, especially if you're really busy and you have children or you have a lot of people that require a lot of your attention. Tell everybody, listen, every Tuesday night when I come home from work, from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, that is me time. And everybody knows they're gonna try to get everything in on Monday because they know when you come home on Tuesday from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, you're not to be disturbed. And if they disturb you during your me time, you say, we told you, or I told you, this is my me time. I will see you after 7 o'clock. Make a strong stand. You have to have that time. It's rejuvenating. When you do that, you can be your best self. You have your best self to offer to everybody else. If you keep giving and giving and giving and your cup is empty, then what do you have left? You have to carve out time for yourself to replenish your cup so that your cup runneth over. Well, that's it, family. Thank you so much for watching this video. And just remember, self-care is a contract from you to you to make certain that you are important. You're at the top of the list. You are your priority, that I'm going to take care of me so that I can take care of everyone else. Thank you again and have a blessed day.